All right, New York Giants fans, let's talk about Daniel Jones. Let's talk about the quarterback position for this New York Football Giants. You know, since the Thursday night game versus the Dallas Cowboys, I've seen ad nauseum, whether it be videos on YouTube, whether it be live streams or tweets, media pundits. There are actual conversations being had within the fan base of wanting to tank for a quarterback this year. And I'm pretty disgusted to see, not that it, like, I understand that there are going to be sectors of the fan base, in any fan base, that's going to want to tank for X player or that player. But to hear it so adamantly from a large portion of this fan base is a little disheartening to me. I don't think that people understand necessarily what tanking means. Not only the thought process about tanking, but why you're tanking. Let's start this off just by talking about Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones played a bad game versus the Dallas Cowboys. And you're going to see these effing nerds on social media breaking down these plays where, if he would have hit him 3/4 of a second faster here, he would have been able to gain 1/4 of a more yard. He would have been able to do this. He would have been able to do that. If Daniel Jones looked left first instead of right, then he would have been able to hit Wandale 3 yards out and he could have gotten 6 yards. And Daniel Jones instead hit Daniel Bellinger and only got 3 yards. It's fucking stupid. Look, Daniel Jones isn't a perfect quarterback. No quarterback is perfect. Not even Patrick freaking Mahomes is perfect. He makes a lot of mistakes, but it's just glazed over by the media, and so people are so conditioned to agree with the consensus that they're not actually making a judgment for themselves. I don't think Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback. I think that he has really high highs, but he's been consistently inconsistent, and that's the reason why the Giants are going to have to move on from him at the end of this year. And I totally agree with that. Daniel Jones hasn't made a big enough case for him to remain as the Giants starting quarterback, especially with the amount of money that he would be making, which honestly isn't even that much. People like to bring up his contract all the time, but $40 million, a deal where you can get out after 2 years, it's you're not selling your soul for a contract like the Eagles did or the Cardinals did. Name an organization that overpaid a quarterback that then proceeded to underachieve what their expectations were. It happens all the time around the NFL. But the Daniel Jones contract wasn't the issue. And people like to blame him and everything for Saquon walking. There's so much targeted blame at Daniel Jones, literally for everything in this franchise. He is the most divisive player I have seen on a sports team probably in my whole life. And I know that the Giants eventually would be better if they did get a rookie quarterback and started fresh with a rookie. Start over the rookie timeline. But I don't think people really understand how you could root for this team to lose. And I understand your heart's in the right place. You're doing it because you want the Giants to have long-term success, and that's exactly what I want too. But when that kind of mindset, it doesn't just go away. Once you allow that to, once you allow yourself to believe in that thought process, and once you allow yourself to start rooting for the New York Giants to lose, how many players in the first round of drafts even end up working out anyway? And even after that, how many players in the first round, how many first round quarterbacks end up working out anyway? How many times there's an understanding in Giants land right now that we feel like the Giants are just a quarterback away. But watching this team and not just watching it through the lens of just wanting Daniel Jones to fail just so I can say I told you so, or just to, go get the quote unquote the new toy. There are other issues on this team that aren't Daniel Jones's fault. And if those are to be addressed, it would make Daniel Jones look like a far superior quarterback than he is. Like, just look at the fact that we got Malik Neighbors, and already Daniel Jones is looking 10 times better than he did last year. But there are times in these games where Daniel Jones puts out a good ball and these receivers are dropping him. Like, that's not on Daniel Jones, and yet people are saying that Daniel Jones didn't play bad or didn't lose us the game, but he also didn't win us the game. But when your quarterback is getting the ball in your playmaker's hands and also putting him in the positions to make good catches, hitting him in stride, targeting the players he's supposed to, and then they let him down, and then you're saying, "Oh, Daniel Jones, you're supposed to make us win." How is Daniel Jones supposed to catch the ball for these guys? How is Daniel Jones supposed to, block in the run game? Like, he's doing all this, and we averaged less than a yard a carry versus the Dallas Cowboys. And then we have the nerve as fans to say that it's his fault. It's Daniel Jones's fault. I mean, if that was Aaron Rodgers, people would be glazing him saying, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers is too good for this team." And I understand Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? But I'm just trying to keep it 100 with trying to judge these players as players. Daniel Jones, I think, is an adequate quarterback. I think he's going to excel whenever he does end up leaving the New York Giants and goes to another team. I think he's going to have success. I don't think it's going to happen with the New York Giants. But like I said, the amount of tanking talk that I've heard coming from the Giants community over, really since the start of the offseason, and even more so with the record that we have now, and watching a rookie quarterback like Jaden Daniels and a division rival have the success that he did, it's really like influencing Giants fans to feel like that's also going to be their outcome if all they do is get a quarterback. Like, first round quarterbacks only have like a 40% or 35% hit rate. Like, for every, and we don't even know about Jaden Daniels. This is only the first quarter of the season. Let's see him through his whole rookie season, and then we'll have conversations about if we want to crown him or not. But here's the thing. Once you start rooting for tanking, and you're putting all these expectations, and you're putting all the blame and all the guilt onto one specific player, what's going to happen is, even after this year, if we end up drafting a QB this year, and it's gotten into the Giants organization that we need a tank in order to achieve that mindset doesn't just go away after this year. You're going to be bringing in a rookie quarterback that may or may not be good, may be good, but is going to need time to acclimate. Like, look at Caleb Williams. He's one of the most surefire quarterbacks you could ever draft, and he's struggling. It's not always a guarantee with quarterbacks. And it kind of pisses me off to see how eager people are to get this guy out of the building. And even though I'm disgusted with that, I do think it's probably the best thing for the fan base with how divided we are. But to do it to a guy that's been nothing but screwed over his entire tenure here with the Giants. He was drafted to a team that wasn't ready to compete, or he was drafted to a team that wasn't ready for a rookie quarterback. He gets his head coach and his offensive coordinator fired, or he doesn't get them fired, but they were fired at the end of his rookie year. And now he has to start over with Joe Judge and Jason Garrett. And that whole experiment, I believe, totally mentally messed up Daniel Jones throughout that time, because he wasn't ever the same player after Judge and after Judge and Garrett got here. So no favors there. We never gave him a number 1 wide receiver. The Kadarius Toney experiment failed. The Darren Waller experiment failed. The Kenny Golladay experiment failed. And now we finally get this guy number 1 wide receiver, and he's putting he's giving these skill position players opportunities to make plays on the ball and to get the balls in their hands and make plays and help us win games. But he's always the first one in the building. He's always the last one out. He's such a hard worker. Like, he was, even with this ACL injury, like, he was months ahead of schedule. Like, this guy works his ass off for the New York Giants. He puts his heart and soul on the line for the New York Giants every Sunday. And that's one of the things that a lot of people love about Daniel Jones. And the fact that people are just willing just to throw him to the curb just for something new. It really reminds me of, like, if you've been in like a long relationship and now you're looking at your friend or a relative or something that gets like a new a new girlfriend, and they're in the honeymoon phase and it looks exciting and everyone's, they're always thinking about each other. They're all super lovey-dovey, and you're looking at them and you're looking at, the person you've been with for 6 years, and you're like, oh man, I could be doing so much better. Like, I don't feel like that towards you. Like, the way they feel for each other, I don't feel that way towards you. But they're just like the Washington Commanders. They're just in the honeymoon period right now. But sooner or later, I do believe that that team's going to get figured out, and they're not going to look nearly as good as they are right now. It's kind of a weird year in the NFL. I guess really what I'm just trying to say is we have a guy in our roster right now that's bled blue the entire time he's been here. Been nothing but a class act. He's never thrown anybody under the bus. He's always taken accountability. He's always put all the blame on him. He's taken all of the bombardments of criticism from the media, from the fans, from coaches. And I just feel like a guy like that should be more appreciated. I feel like it's pretty evident that the Giants aren't going to make the postseason this year. We're not winning a Super Bowl this year. So the expectation after that is, well, let's at least try to get a high draft pick. And I guess I can understand that. But to actively root for it and then to put that much blame on someone who I believe was our highest rated player in that Dallas game was Daniel Jones. And to put all that hate on him just because you want something new and different is honestly pretty sickening to me. Like, it makes me a little disappointed in this fan base that we would treat a player that's done so much for us, even though, look, I'll be the first to admit that Daniel Jones's play has been, hit and miss, to say the least. But the guy's a giant. And no matter what you do, no matter what you think, you're not going to be able to affect the outcome of the season because you're not in that locker room, you're not on the field playing, you're not in the coach's room. So let's just let the season play out. But the amount of celebrating that I see with Giants fans and like the clear acknowledgement and the amount of fans that have just embraced that mindset is really disappointing, because that just doesn't go away. Like I said, if we get a rookie quarterback and that rookie quarterback doesn't end up working out, it'll be not even like a year or two and they're going to want to tank again. Or not even just the quarterback position, really any position. If we have like, I don't know, let's say we need a defensive tackle or a wide receiver or this, that, and the other, or an offensive tackle or a guard or a center, and we're like, well, we need a tank to get that player. When does it stop? When does that crap stop? It's a mindset. And it's mindsets like that have held back the Jets. It's been a mindset that's held back the Bears. It's been a mindset that's held back. Name your team. The Panthers. I don't think people realize what they're asking for when they want to tank. When they're looking at the honeymoon phase from another team and they want that so bad that they're willing to throw everything that they have going for them right now away for a fraction of a chance to have that kind of excitement. And typically teams that draft quarterbacks in the first round, the offseason and like the time after you draft that player to, I don't know, to the start of the regular season, that's probably the happiest you're going to be, unless that quarterback ends up working out. And I do believe that that Brian Daboll deserves to have a quarterback that he drafted to run his system and his scheme. But I just don't see Daniel Jones right now being such a hindrance on this team that is the reason why we're not winning games. There are other reasons why we're not winning games. It's not just the quarterback. So if people think that you can just slap a new rookie quarterback onto this team and everything's just going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows, I don't see it that way. What I see is a fan base and an organization that would be giving up their integrity. Because honestly, we should be at the point where no matter what player is you know, behind center for the New York Giants, that's our guy. And we're going to ride or die with our guy. And the amount of like the amount of, what am I trying to say here? The amount of, you know, like buddiness, or the amount of you know, people just like slurping up the Commanders because now they're the number one team in our division, saying how great they are, and oh my gosh, Jaden Daniels, and oh my gosh, this, that, and the other. Well, what happened to the days where we used to like clown on each other's teams and we used to talk shit to each other's teams? I feel like this fan base, and like, I can't speak to other fan bases, so I don't know, but I'm just saying with for the New York Football Giants, I feel like we have like a I feel like this is going to get me in trouble, but it's almost like a feminine mindset. Like we're really showing some female tendencies here. I want us to be a fan base that, you know, that we stand behind our guys, that we root for our guys, and win or lose, we're going to have their back no matter what. Now we can talk shit, you know, just us, but you know, when we like lower our heads and listen to the other teams in our division talk about how crap our quarterback is, and we're just subservient to them, and we don't stand up for ourselves and tell them to piss off, and I don't know. I feel like this team's fans have lost their soul. You know, I feel like they just, I don't know, they just want the new thing. I think that the reason for that too is just the amount of losing that we've done over the last 10 years. But ask yourself too, like, we've had, how many top 10, top 5 picks have we had, and how many of them have turned out to really be anything? The draft isn't the end all be all, and I'm starting to feel like the Giants fan base is more fans of like draft night than they are for the actual season. Like, a lot of people have already given up on the Giants, and it's only been 4 games. And you can make excuses about some of the other games in the past, how we should have won those games if 1 or 2 things would have went our way, but they didn't. So we have to live with that. Our record is what it is. You know, your record is your record states who you are, no matter how you feel about the team. So we're a 1-3 team. But I'm not ready just to throw everything away for a what if, for someone who hasn't put in their dues for the New York Giants, someone that wasn't here through the Joe Judge eras and having to play behind literally the worst offensive line in NFL history, and still going up to the podium and taking accountability and putting all that blame on himself. We just want to get someone new we just want to feel that, you know, honeymoon that the Commanders are feeling right now, or I don't know, like the Texans felt with and are still feeling with CJ Stroud. Like, that's one that was earned. But I mean, how many Bears fans right now are really feeling like, you know, Caleb Williams is the guy who they imagined when they drafted him? I mean, Bo Nix is Is Bo Nix anything? What other rookie? We haven't seen some of the other rookies like Drake May or the guy from Atlanta. Like, we haven't seen any of these other quarterbacks, or we haven't seen some of these other quarterbacks yet. So we don't know how they're going to turn out, but the draft is a crapshoot. It's literally like Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So why not just go out and ride with your team and stand up for your quarterback, stand up for your players, give them some confidence. It's really sick because what are Giants fans going to complain once Daniel Jones leaves? What's going to be the new boogeyman of the New York Giants once they don't have Daniel Jones to clown on? Do I think that if we hit on a rookie quarterback, that accelerates every process? So of course, if we get a quarterback and he's good, then this team can go places. But that is a big if. And it's a big if to sell your soul for something it might even just be fool's gold. There are some drafts where they have, 5 or so quarterbacks that come out that people are pretty excited for, and none of them pan out. You can have drafts where there's no big name quarterbacks coming out, and then they can hit after they're drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, and they can have strong NFL careers. You just never know with these things. And to see people get so down on the Giants when you're watching guys that are playing hard for this team and playing hard for their head coach, playing hard for the organization, and you want to bring in someone that has literally never been here for any of it. Anyway, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. In the comments below, let me know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for feeling this way? Am I stupid for not wanting to tank or for wanting my team to lose? You tell me. Because maybe I'm just not being the kind of fan that I'm supposed to be. So educate me if that's the case, but I feel like, I don't know. This team's got other issues, and a rookie quarterback that's not acclimated to the NFL will just exaggerate those issues, and then we're going to end up being the Panthers or whatever NFL team you want to say. It's not just as simple as just being a quarterback away. I just want you guys to remember that. And all we can hope that if we do end up drafting a quarterback, that player hits. But let's wait until April when the draft comes around, instead of, October in the regular season. The season's not over yet. There's still plenty of games to be played in this, this year. Crazy things happen in the NFL all the time. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got to say. So if you guys like the channel, like I said, feel free to go down below and consider subscribing or leave a like and a comment. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.